Honestly, I think that this Hamama, is that how you say it? Hamama kit is pretty freaking awesome. How's it going, everyone? CJ from On The Grow here, and today we're actually inside of our house because we're starting a series around indoor microgreen grow sets. So we've bought quite a few different kits from Amazon that are at-home microgreen growing kits, and we're also going to be later down the line discussing how you can make your own grow kit for your house. So what we're going to start off with is this first kit here, which is the Hamama kit, and it actually has quite a clever way of these seeds growing, so we'll get to that here in just a second. First I want to talk about price. It was $39 from Amazon. What it comes with is the tray and 2 of the seed packs. So I looked on their website and their tray is about $30, so it's honestly quite high for the tray. So I'm excited to see what about this tray is so unique or special. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this open here. Let's take a peek at this. I had my phone over here propping it up. All right, so let's take a look. So this is the Hamama Grow Kit, which is patent pending, says grow nutritious, delicious microgreens. It's easy and only water once. And sorry, our cat just drug over our entire bag. Can you get this off your head, buddy? He took our little trash bag out of the kitchen there and got it stuck around his neck like a dork mid-video. All right, so continuing, I'm just gonna kind of take, this looks like it was just held down with some like sticky tack glue. All right, now let's take a look here. So for the instructions, it says fill the tray with water up to the fill line. You won't have to add water again. So to me, that's Kratky style, basically adding water to a reservoir and then letting the plant soak up that water. So number 2, place seed quilt in tray with tan side facing up and brown coconut fiber mat facing down. Okay, so this is a coconut fiber mat that they use. Number 3, which is press down on seed quilt to evenly wet. Hold down for 10 seconds, letting seed quilt soak up water, turning a shade darker. Where you put your kit? Anywhere you have space. Indoor is best, so you can grow no matter the season. Avoid placing your kit in your houseplants that might carry mold or disease. Light requirements, don't worry if you don't have good natural light. Microgreens don't need much light. So overhead lighting, like regular ceiling lights, work just fine. Okay, good to know that they said that. That's very interesting. And on the back, it just looks like, okay, if it says if it's ripped, remove the cover, or, so basically it's just saying once this, okay, gotcha, peel cover 4 to 6 days. So a day 4 to 6 is when you take this off and I'll let these guys go, and then you harvest on days 7 through 10. Now it says how to harvest, which is using scissors, cut stems, blah, 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 blah. Eat as a salad, mix in your smoothie, and then compost your leftover seed quilt in your food and yard waste bin. Storage for longest lasting microgreens, harvest all at once and place in a Ziploc bag with dry paper towel inside. This will last a week or more in the refrigerator. You can harvest on schedule, add another cup of water to your microgreens to keep them from wilting. Interesting. Okay. So our microgreens actually last about, I want to say 3 weeks, actually about a month and a half. So, I mean, we always encourage people to eat theirs within a week, so I assume that's what they're doing as well. All right, so let's take a look at what this actually looks like. All right, so we got our kit and 2 seed packets. So interesting, they basically divide this up into little rows. So it should have sufficient airflow in between all the plants. So that's actually pretty smart. And then on the bottom there, you can see that this is the Coco Fiber Mat. And it looks like just a sheet of paper over the top. So very easy. This is the spicy Daikon radish. It says grow time 7 days. Peel cover days 4 to 5. Germination rate about 80%. Okay. All right, and then we've also got the super salad mix, which is great for salad, sandwiches, and garnish. Grow time 10 days, peel cover in 5 to 6 days, and it's got, wow, quite a bit. Broccoli, kale, kohlrabi, arugula, cabbage, cauliflower, and it tells more about the actual varieties and the germination rate. So anytime we grow with salad mixes, we usually end up having very mixed growth. So I'm curious to see how theirs is going to work out. Okay, so let's go ahead and I guess get this started. So we're going to be growing it on this little white thing here. As you can see, we've got a bunch of other systems that we're eventually going to talk about. Mandy will be heading up this one right here. And then in the future, we're going to be talking about more ways of doing this. So let's take a peek at how this looks. Okay, so another piece of paper in here, try something. So it's just pushing some more of their products. Just a little sales thing. And then this $30 tray. Okay, so taking a look at this, it is on... Okay, sorry about that. Our cats actually got, they were wrestling in our power cord with our light and pulled the light down on themselves, and now Carl is very unsure of this area. So continuing what we were talking about, hopefully they don't do that again. We have a $30 tray here, which is very simple. I think it's, I would say probably about 20 inches by about, I don't know, maybe 5 inches wide. So honestly, very expensive and very simple. So what it's going to do is it's got your fill line indicators here, and it looks like these little wings, I guess you can call them, keep the mat positioned at a certain height. So this is a very expensive way of doing a Kratky system, it almost looks like. So basically, which is just suspending a plant above a reservoir of water. So we're going to see how this works. All right, so we got our fill line there. Let's get this actually growing. So I guess we'll start with spicy Daikon, because I know those grow pretty good in our space, so we'll try it. So I've got some water here. We got this filled up way above our 32 ounce line, so I'm just going to see how much this takes. Okay, honestly, not a whole lot of water. Right about there. All right, so that is that, and this is supposedly going to be enough water for it to last the entire grow. So I think this one said 7 days. All right, so we want the brown paper side up, I'm pretty sure. Do I remember this correctly? Yep. Wow. Lots of plastic. That's one thing I'm kind of seeing with this system is I'm worried about the amount of plastic, because you have to buy these kits every single time, and they're about $6 or $5 per little kit. So it said brown paper side up. I'm gonna put the cocoa side down. I'm just gonna kind of drop this into the water, and it says hold it down for 10 seconds. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to wait, and we'll kind of document this every day as it grows. We'll do a little video, and if anything happens during the grow time that we need to talk about, we'll pause. I'll do a quick update video on that. All right, so again, this is going to take about 7 days to grow, and what we're going to do is at the end of it, we're going to harvest this, and we're going to talk about how much product we got. We're going to weigh it out, and then we're going to talk about the cost effectiveness of a system like this. Is this something that is actually beneficial to have in your space, or can you do this better by just buying your own seed and growing them yourself? All right, so we are on day 7 for the Hamama grow, and everything looks super happy. All this Daikon radish grew quite well. There are a few seed holes left, but honestly, we're pretty dang happy with how this crop turned out. So today is day 7, and the reservoir is completely empty. Like if I tip this reservoir and take a peek inside, there's no kind of water running over to the side. So I wanted to go ahead and harvest this today, because I feel like if we try to harvest this tomorrow, when the true leaves have developed a little bit more, then we would potentially run into issues with this becoming wilty, because it has no water right now. And I want to stick to how it said to do this, which is just fill it to that line and then harvest on day 7 once this seems to be ready. So we're just going to follow the directions exactly. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly talk about how we actually grew this. So again, from the beginning of the video, we walked you guys through the process of how we started these seeds. And then all we did from that point forward was that we left it on this shelf right here, and we had it tucked over into a space where it got just some ambient light through that window right there, through these windows. This whole area gets pretty decent ambient light. Today we don't really have that because it's a cloudy day. But the other days it did have a good amount of indirect light on it, and I'm pretty happy with how the growth came out on that. Everything seems to have germinated at a very similar rate. There's a few that are a little bit slower germinators mixed into the canopy, but that's all right because it looks like this had sufficient airflow. I'm not seeing any types of mold or anything down in this. It's kind of hard to see in here because it's a little dark, but kind of looking at the root medium, we just got the root hairs, and that's about it. So this had no kind of airflow on it other than what we naturally have occurring in our house. We have some fans that always run in our living room, and then just a heater right here that'll kind of mix the air around a little bit every now and then. But other than that, I'm pretty impressed with how this product turned out. I think that this is a super easy kit to give to somebody. I do think it's a little bit pricier. This is definitely one of the pricier kits that we've seen. And that's mostly because this reservoir is $30, and then the seed packs themselves are about $5, $5 to $7 depending on the variety and how frequently you order it from their website. So I think it's a pretty good price to honestly get people initiated into some microgreens and give them the ability to try this at home. And I'm super impressed with the system. I think it's just really awesome how well it works. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and get this harvested, and we'll talk about how much weight we got from this and basically how much microgreens we get from a single tray. So I'm gonna go ahead, I guess we can just do this live real quick. So I'm gonna turn on my scale. I've already got a bowl there, and I'm leaving that bowl on as I turn it on so that it zeroes out. So we'll make sure that we have 0 grams. And what I'll do now is I've cleaned a pair of kitchen scissors. I usually harvest with a knife, but I figure since we're doing this home style, I would do it as if people were doing it at home. So I'm just gonna grab pretty low. I'm gonna leave a decent space. I don't wanna try to get some of this root medium in the clippings. But let's start just kind of getting this harvested. I'm gonna go ahead and eat one. See how it tastes. Wow, that's spicy. That is a spicy daikon. Okay, and if you get like little seed holes like right here, you could try to just take your finger and just kind of flick these, and it'll knock out any little late bloomers or any seed holes that get stuck. That way you get some nice product only, and you don't have to pick that out whenever you go to make a sandwich or whatever. Yeah, so something just to be careful of is that some stuff like this just kind of gets mixed into the bottom here. So just be aware of that as you harvest. Honestly, I'm really impressed with how they've done this, though. I like that they planted this in small groups and left like aisleways for air to flow through. It's really smart how they did it. So I'm just trying to take extra little bit of time here and pick out all these seed holes. Come on. So the cotyledons love to, you can see this whenever you harvest, they love to just grab onto each other, so you have to gently kind of work them out. Again, just tapping out all my seed holes. See if I can pick up the speed a little bit here. This is why I like using a knife. I feel like I'm faster. All right, we just harvested a whole row. Knock off any extras. Is our scale still going? Our scale is still going. Yeah, I'm actually thinking I was thinking for Christmas, I wanted to make some people some kits so that, you know, some of my family members and friends and things can grow microgreens themselves. But honestly, I think that this might be a good kit to give them instead, because it is just so easy. Like my sister, she lives in New York, and she doesn't have a whole lot of access to super fresh greens. I think that this would be a cool system to get her, just kind of show her and see if she's interested in microgreens and growing them herself, because it's so easy with this kit. And then if she is, then I could teach her how to make her own, and something a little bit more efficient instead of spending $5 every time you want to grow a little tray. All right, so we're basically at the end here. And then I'm gonna give a piece to Mandy to try out.
Oh, I can already smell the spiciness from here.
All right. So our total harvest weight was 133 grams, which is honestly pretty dang abundant from this tiny little tray right here. I'm super impressed with that. One thing, you know, I'd probably, if I was doing this myself, I would add a little bit more water and maybe just a little bit of nutrients to this if you have access to it, just because we haven't really hit the true leaf should be developing in between. Yeah, we haven't even reached the true leaf stage. So I think that having these grow for about another 2 to 3 days would be ideal. So maybe adding a little bit more water, and if you have it, some kind of hydroponic nutrient as well, would really give this just a burst of extra life. And you'd probably get, I would say, at least 200 grams or more if you gave them about another day or so. So let's take a peek here and just kind of look at what happened, because I'm curious now. Okay, so very cool. So what we've got, it's so interesting how they've done this.
The roots look really good.
Yeah, the roots are very, very happy. So it grew down through this. I assume this is like a Coco Coir kind of mat. I believe so. And this is some kind of paper that they had it seeded directly on. And it's really cool that the roots actually went through this and then created a bit of a gap here into the Coco Coir, and then dug their roots down into the Kratky system itself. So, I mean, it's very cool how they've done this. And honestly, I'm very impressed with this being an at-home, super easy microgreen kit. Like very, very minimal maintenance. And another thing I like about it too, I believe, I'm trying to fill this material a little bit because I wonder if it has a wax in it. But as for the ability to decompose it, or to compost it rather, and how biodegradable it is, this seems like it's going to be a really good kit for that, because this looks like it's all natural. I'll have to confirm that, but just kind of glancing at it, I mean, this all looks like stuff that'll decompose really quite nicely. So I'm very happy with that. Here's kind of a comparison here so you can see how much microgreens you get out of this. So you can honestly make, I would say, a few salads. Like, you probably need about this much just to top a sandwich off. So you've got at least, 8 burgers worth of topping off with some Daikon radish, or mixing this into salads, at least a few salads. Or you can just mix this into a big old salad and eat it. That always works as well. Tastes really good too. So that's about it for our first of our at-home grow kits. Honestly, I think that this Hamama, is that how you say it? Hamama kit is pretty freaking awesome. Just for the fact of showing people the potential of microgreens, how amazingly quick they grow, and how easy they can be. This system honestly makes it super, super easy, and I am pretty dang impressed and a little jealous that I didn't come up with this idea first, because they're patent pending, and I'm like, can I make one like this? But no, I can't now. So I think it's a super cool system, and I would definitely highly recommend this if you're going to give a gift to somebody who doesn't have a green thumb or doesn't have a whole lot of time to look at this, because all you had to do is fill this reservoir up and set it in some light, and then after about 3 or 4 days, you have to peel off this little top layer, and it'll kind of do it itself. The greens actually push through it themselves, and then you just go back and clean up the little paper pieces off of it. And I mean, honestly, we put a whole maybe 15 minutes into growing this, into like actual labor, because it was super easy. It's just pulling it out of the plastic, filling it up, putting it in there, pulling off the top sheet once they've begun to germinate, and then harvesting. So really super simplified. And the fact that there's no mold too is pretty awesome. And you can see how they achieve that. I never did talk about that. So they achieve that by putting only their seeds in little squares and leaving aisles open in between. You can see here, if I pull this stuff out, you can see it better. But you can see how they left little aisles open in between, and it's actually a really smart system so that there's airflow. Our system over there just kicked on. So that there's airflow during the germination process. But that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video for our first at-home growers kit. We have more coming. Mandy's going to be talking about this Verdant system, where it is all actual compostable materials, and everything seems to be going really great. We got some Swiss chard and some Rambo radish growing in that Mandy's going to talk about. And we got another system that's not doing so hot, but we'll talk about that one in a different video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give us a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below, and we'd love to get those answered for you as soon as we can. If you would like to, subscribe to us. please. We're going to do more at-home kits. We do a lot of experiments, and we're going to be doing more on teaching people how to grow, whether you're a commercial grower or an at-home hobby grower. And if you would like to, our Instagram is @onthegrowfarms. Thank you so much, and have a great day.